Hey guys, it's Sora here, back with another video. The first of 3 videos you're going to be getting today. Now this is a slightly different collection video. This is going to be my Evercade collection. Now, the Evercade is a handheld game console that plays retro games, has cartridges like this, that have retro games on them. Now, all of these games are officially licensed. So every single game that is on these cartridges, Blaze that make the Evercade have the license rights to put on these cartridges. There's four currently different variations. There's one that's a Game Boy Color, which I can't remember what it's called. That's the cheapest one. You can get that for about £40 in the UK or $50 in the US. There's 2 variations, which I don't have either of. A Capcom variant and a Taito variant. There is this, which is the original Evercade, which is now out of production. This shall be going to my partner Neku when he moves in here. And then you have the Evercade Versus, which is a console connected TV which has 2 controllers. And then you have the Evercade EXP, which is this model right here, which has the internet connection and everything, and also has a collection of Capcom games. We will look at the manual that came with this, so I can show you the Capcom games that came with it. We have the Capcom collection that's built into this, which includes Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Mega Man, Mega Man 2, Mega Man X, Strider, 1942, 1943, 1944, Final Fight, Commando, War for the Battlefield, Mercs, Captain Commando, Bionic Commando, Breath of Fire, Ghouls and Ghosts, Legendary Wings, Forgotten Worlds, Vulgus. That's all the games on the Capcom collection. Now, the interesting thing with the Evercade EXP, I can't get the box closed. Yeah, I can't get the box closed, so we're just going to leave that there for now. The interesting with the Evercade EXP is, if you push this button under there, you can then play the game in this perspective if the game supports it. Now, obviously, the Evercade is a brilliant system. I would highly recommend it for anybody who wants physical ways of legally owning some retro games. I'd highly recommend the systems. I'd give them a 10 out of 10. Now, on to the games themselves. We have Atari Collection 1, which is cartridge number 1. Now, each one comes with a manual, and some have other things. I will show you other things that come with each one as we go. Now, Atari Collection 1, which is cartridge 1, includes Centipede, Adventure, which is in my favorite movie of all time, Alien Brigade, Asteroids, Missile Command, Crystal Castles, which has Bentley the Bear, Food Fight, Desert Falcon, Motor Psycho, Canyon Bomber, Gravatar, Double Dunk, Ninja Golf, which is a very crazy game where you play as a ninja who literally plays golf and fights other ninjas and dragons, Steeplechase, Night Driver, Tempest, Video Pinball, Aquaventure, Yar's Return, and Sword Quest. Also, sorry if you're hearing any noise. The window is open because it's very hot here today. Then we have Namco Museum Collection 1, which is cartridge number 2. This also has some great games on it. I have a Namco Museum arcade machine behind me, which I'll show in another collection video at some point. This one has Galaxium, Pac-Man, Xevious, Mappy, Dig Dug, Star Luster, which is a shooter, Battle Cars, Metal Marines, which is like a mech game, Libble Rabble, which is a puzzle game. Quad Challenge, and Mappy Kid, which is a platformer. I should probably go into more depth about what each game is on these, as I will do. And then we have Interplay Collection 1, which is cartridge 4. These 3 cartridges come with the starter pack for the basic Evercade, which you can't get anymore. This has Clay Fighter, which is a fighting game. Earthworm Jim, Battle Chess, Booger Mouse, a platform's kind of gross. Incantation, which is a platformer where you play as a little wizard. And Titan, which is a Game Boy puzzle game. Then we have Namco Museum Collection 2, which is cartridge number 6. This one has Pack Attack, which is a puzzle game. Galaga. That man's playing Galaga. You thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. That's an events reference. Warpman, which is a very strange game. Dig Dug 2. The Traudraga, which I never ever pronounced. That's the technical one. Burning Force, which is a shmup. First, which is also a shmup. Weapon Lord, which is an RPG. Dragon Spirit, the New Legend, which is a shmup. Splatterhouse Part 2 and Splatterhouse 3. Then, Interplay Collection 2, which is cartridge number 7. This has Claymates, which is a platformer where you play as a ball of clay that can shift into different shapes. Earthworm Jim 2, Clay Fighter 2, Prehistoric Man, which is a platform where you have to collect bones. Ride Gravity, which is an old school Metroidvania style NES game. And the Brainies, which is a puzzle game. Next, Mega Cat Studios Collection 1. This is a bunch of indie games that are exclusive, like, new games for the Evercade. We have Coffee Crisis, which is a Scott Pilgrim style side-scrolling beat 'em up where you have the coffee. All Towers, which has a brilliant soundtrack. Yeah, which is like a platformer game. Tanza, which is a Strider kind of game. Focus! Strider kind of game. We have Little Medusa, which is a puzzle game. Super Painter, where you have to paint the blocks on the platforms. So it's basically Cubert mixed with Mario Brothers. Multi-Dude, we have multiple different characters you have to move around. Almost Hero, which is a Ninja Gaiden kind of game. Green Brawlers, which is basically Zombie Punch-Out. Justice Brawl, which is where you control Abraham Lincoln and other people in, like, dirigibles. And Log Jammers, which is basically like a game where you throw, like, a log disc at each other. We have Xenocrisis and Tanglewood, 2 brand new games for the system that has a football manual. This side is Tanglewood, this side is Xenocrisis. I like both of these games. Tanglewood is the more better of the 2, in my opinion. That is a Smash TV style run and gun dual twin-stick shooter, which is very odd to control on an Evercade. And this one is a Metroidvania puzzle platformer. So, yeah. We have... Some of these are out of print now, by the way. Like this one. The Oliver Twins collection. Oliver Twins were British twins that developed games over here in the UK that are not far from where I grew up as a kid. Codemasters, they founded those. And I grew up not far from where they were. Codemasters was actually stationed... Codemasters was founded in a town near where I used to live. This one is out of print. It has the Fantastic Adventure Dizzy, Super Robin Hood, Wonderland Dizzy. These are all platforms, so by the way. Panic Dizzy, which is a puzzle game. Go Dizzy Go, which is another puzzle game. Firehawk, which is a Top Gun style game. Professional BMX Simulator. Dreamworld Pogi, which is a platformer. Dizzy the Adventure, which is an action... I would say adventure puzzle game. Mystery World Dizzy, which is a similar thing. And Treasure Island Dizzy, which is a similar thing. Yeah. I grew up not far from where the studio was founded. The team was actually founded. So, yeah. We have Atari Lynx Collection 1, which is cartridge 13. This is all games made by Songbird Productions. We have Scrapyard Dog, which is a platformer. Dracula the Undead, which is a point and click. Jimmy Connor's Tennis, which is a shooting game. I'm kidding, it's a tennis game. Awesome Golf, which is, well, a golf game. Crystal Mines 2, Buried Treasure, which is basically Boulder Dash. Basket Brawl, which is a basketball fighting game. Zump, Mega Pack Volume 1, which is a bizarre game that has a bunch of mini games in it and also has a very odd tech demo thing in it. Malibu Bikini Volleyball. Loops, which looks like a freaking AC/DC or flipping Coldplay album cover. And Power Factor, which is a shooting game. Yeah, some pretty decent games on this one too. Interestingly, we have Atari handheld games on handheld. Also, that cartridge is now out of print. We have Atari Lynx Collection 2, which is cartridge 14, also now out of print. This is I prefer this one. We have California games. We have Chips Challenge, which is basically a puzzle platformer. Twilight Adventure Slime World, which is a Metroidvania. Blue Lightning, which is a shmup. Zola Mercenary, which is another shmup. Checkered Flag, which is a racing game. Electro Cop, which was originally, I think, going to be a RoboCop game. And Gates of Zendikon, which is a very, very interesting shooting game, ship shooting game. What? Next, we have Jaleco Collection 1. I have a poster of this one on my wall up there. This is cartridge number 15. This has Astyanax, which is like a tactical action game, I would say. It's like a RPG. Base is loaded. Brawl Brothers is a beat 'em up. City Connection. Earth Defense Force. Not the same Earth Defense Force you're thinking of. Operation Logic Bomb. It's like blow up bombs. Use bombs. Rival Turf, which is actually a sequel to Brawl Brothers. Super Goal 2. Which, yeah, I'm not going to bother with. The Ignition Factor, which is where you put out fires. And Totally Rad, which is interesting story. One of the earliest games I ever played on my dad's NES when I was about 3 years old. Yeah, one of the first games I played. I had my own PlayStation at the time, but my dad had an NES, and Totally Rad was one of the games I played a lot. Basically, it's a platformer where you play as a dude that has a magic bag that he got from a wizard, and he collects various different styles, and he can turn into like different things. It turns like a ninja thing with a red hair thing, which is that thing. Yeah, pretty interesting game. That one also came, like I said, with the poster that I put up on the wall. We have Indie Heroes Collection 1, which is cartridge 17. This one is all brand new games, and you get a bunch of extra stuff with it. You get stickers with this one. There is Collection 2 and 3, I believe. There's a Collection 2 and 3, I believe. I haven't got those yet. Go back in! Hey, sorry about that. And you have Alien Cat 2, which is a puzzle game. Anguna, which is a dungeon crawl RPG. Chain Break, which is a running game. Daedalus, which is a horror game, a Game Boy horror game with that. Debtor, which is a puzzle platformer. Doodle World, which is a platforming game that's done in this art style here. Flea, which is like a doodle jump kind of game. Foxyland, which is a platformer that's also on PlayStation. Kubo 3, which is a Zelda style RPG. Ploid, which is a Mega Man kind of game. Quest Arrest, which is a Game Boy Advance Pokemon style RPG about police. Super Homebrew War, which is Super Smash Bros. But with indie homebrew characters. Twin Dragons, which is a platform where you play two different dragons. It's very Mario style, very Yoshi's Island style. And Udshen, which is a shmup. A lot of shmups on these cards, I just realizing. Next, we have Worms Collection 1. When I first heard about this game coming to Evercade, I was really excited. The potential for the Worms collection. This also this card 18. I also have a poster of that one on my wall up there. I loved the idea of this, but they ruined it because the version that they went with of the original Worms game, was the Genesis version. Now, you'd think, okay, that's not a problem. But when you realize there's an Amiga version that exists, which would have been perfect, and then you realize also that there is a PlayStation 1 version that exists they could have used, it's baffling why they went with the 16-bit version. We also have Worms Armageddon, which I think is a brilliant Worms game, and Worms Blast, which is a Game Boy Advance puzzle game. So yeah, was interested with this one. Kinda disappointed that we got the version of the original Worms we got, but it is what it is. We have Renovation Products Collection 1, which is cartridge 23. This one has games that, like it says, so most sought after 16-bit games from Japan. Most of these games have never been released outside of Japan in any... The case is broken on this one. Most of these haven't been released outside Japan in any way, shape, or form. Up till this collection. You have... Oh my god, close! You have... There we go. We have Arcus Odyssey, which is an RPG. We have Beast Wrestler, which is a wrestling game. Dino Land, which is surprisingly a pinball game. We have Alviento, which is shmup. Exile, which is a mech game. Final Zone, which is shmup. Galarius, which is shmup. Granada, which is a tank game. Solidus, which is shmup. Tresia, which is a platformer RPG. And Valis and Valis 3, which are both platformers that are very Sailor Moon-esque in their style. We have Gremlin Collection 1, which is cartridge 24. Gremlin was a studio that made a lot of games for the PS1 and stuff like that. There's some games on here that are good. We have Zool, which is still got the Chop Shop stuff intact. Actua Soccer. Utopia, which is a confusing game. Premier Manager 97, yes, 2 football games on this 6-game cartridge game. 6-game cartridge. Hardcore 4x4. And Brain Bender, which is a puzzle game. Zool is the highlight of this package, and the reason why I got it. We have Morph Cat Games Collection 1. This has some extra things too. This... Oops, the cartridge fell out of the box. You have these little ID cards for the other ones, and you have that, which is a scanning card. Yeah. Interesting. Some of the characters from the games included here. Oh my god. Another one with a case. Yeah. Sometimes Evercade game cases are finicky and don't want to close. Some of the characters from the games in this cartridge are in Super Homebrew War, another cartridge. We have Micro Mages, which is an old school platformer. Blue Bubble, which is a game where you control a bubble going through like different stages. Space Skulls, which is basically Flappy Bird. Super Bat Puncher demo, you play this cute little cat who's got like a bat that he can use as a weapon. And Micro Mage's Second Quest. But yeah. Next up, we have what is possibly one of my favorite Evercade cartridges. We have Pico Collection 3, which is cartridge 29. Now, this is one of my favorites because it has one of my childhood favorite games that I grew up with. 40 Winks is on this. I grew up playing 40 Winks as a kid. Absolutely adored that game. Would highly recommend, if you have Evercade, picking this cartridge up for that game. It's basically a collectathon platform like Banjo-Kazooie, but each world is based on different nightmare themes. So there's horror, there's pirates, there's space. It's basically in dreams. Yeah, 40 Winks, Radical Bikers, the Game Boy Color version, Sword of Dawn, which is a RPG, Zero Tolerance, which is a first-person shooter, Super Bowl Pop, which is a puzzle game, Motor City Patrol, which is a racing game, Stanley, the Search for Livingston, which is a Tomb Raider style game, but side-scroller, or top-down. We have Metal Mech, Man and Machine, which is a mech game. Legend of Wukong, which is which is a RPG. And Punch King, which is a Punch-Out kind of game. But yeah, there's also a Pico Collection 4 I plan on getting soon, which has Glover on it. But yeah, I would highly recommend this cartridge to everybody. Next, we have another cartridge I think has some fantastic games on it and some of the best. Sunsoft Collection 1, which is cartridge 31, which has Arrow the Acrobat. We have Mr. Gimmick, which is a really, really cute little... Yeah, there he is, a cute little game there. Blaster Master, which is the tank game that everybody remembers. Blaster Master Boy, which is originally a Bomberman game. Arrow the Acrobat. Generator Silius, which was originally a Terminator game. And Arabian, which, yeah, is an Aladdin kind of game. But yeah, brilliant games on this cartridge. One of the best ones, in my opinion. And I know we have Sunsoft Collection 2 now, which I shall also be picking up pretty soon. We have the first, and so far only, single game cartridge, Full Void. This is very much like Heart of Darkness. Now, this goes with a prologue comic and a bigger than usual manual. The bigger than usual manual is because this game is a pretty expansive game. This is the only single game cartridge that exists on Evercade. This is a game that's a native Evercade game. There's a screenshot here if I can... Yeah. It's basically... It's one of those cinematic side-scrolling platform games, like Flashback and Heart of Darkness and, you know, that kind of thing. And speaking of those, we'll see a couple of those in a bit. Next, we have Duke Nukem 1-2 Remastered and Duke Nukem 3D Total Meltdown, which is cartridge 33. This is the biggest selling Evercade cartridge. Duke Nukem 1 and 2 Remastered are the highlights here. Duke Nukem 3D is unfortunately the very laggy PS1 version, but it includes extra levels based on pop culture references from that time, like Tomb Raider and Resident Evil. Duke Nukem 1 and 2 Remastered are the highlights here. They are brilliantly remastered for the Evercade, and this is the only way to play either of those two games. So, yeah. We have Duke Nukem Collection 2, which is cartridge 34, which has Duke Nukem Time to Kill, Duke Nukem Land of the Babes, and Duke Nukem Advance. Duke Nukem Advance is better than people think. Time to Kill is the highlight here, and Land of the Babes just has aged very, very poorly. But yeah. We have Good Boy Galaxy and Witch and Whiz. I had a poster that came with it, of Witch and Whiz, which is up there, which people have probably seen in some of my videos and wondered what the hell it is. But yeah. Good Boy Galaxy is a Metroid-style game where you play as this cute little dog here. And Witch and Whiz is a puzzle game where you push blocks. It also comes with the sticker sheet for Good Boy Galaxy, which has some of the most adorable little picture animation I've ever seen. And it has a flippable manual for Good Boy Galaxy and Witch and Whiz. Now, along with the standard red Evercade cartridges, there is a purple line of Evercade cartridges, which are for arcade titles. Now, these arcade titles are the different games. Obviously, they're arcade versions of games. This one is Technos by Arc System Works Arcade 1, which is cartridge 1, which has Mysterious Stones, Dr. John's Adventure, which is a top-down Indiana Jones kind of game. Blockout, which is a block breaker game. Combat Tribes, which is a beat-em-up. Double Dragon 2, Revenge, which is a beat-em-up, as you know. Double Dragon 3, The Result Stones, again a beat-em-up. Mania Challenge, which is a wrestling game. Minky Monkey, which is basically a rip-off of Donkey Kong Jr. And Battle Lane Volume 5, which is a tank game. We have Data East Arcade 1, which is cartridge 2 in the arcade line. This one has Burger Time, which we all know. Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja, which is superior to the console version. Gate of Doom and Wizard Fire, which are each connected to each other. Breakthrough, which is a puzzle game, a pinball-y puzzle game. Tumble Pop, puzzle game. Darwin's 4078, which is a shmup. Sly Spy, which is a James Bond game in every sense of the word, just without, you know, James Bond actually being in it and the spy's American, not British. But you give a 3-digit code name to your character before you start, so you literally can call him 007. Chain Reaction, which is another puzzle game, and Lock and Chase, which is basically a ripoff of Pac-Man. You have Atari Arcade 1, which is an essential arcade cartridge in my opinion, but you can't get it anymore unfortunately, which is Arcade Cartridge 4, which has Asteroids Deluxe, Canyon Bomber, Centipede, Crystal Castles, Liberator, Lunar Lander, Millipede, Missile Command, Night Driver, Pong, so it's essential because it has the original Pong, Skydiver, Super Breakout, and Warlords. All very good pioneering games that paved the way for other games that came down the line after them. And you have IRAM Arcade 1, which is Arcade Cartridge 7. This comes with the Evercade Versus, or Evercade EXP, I mean. This has R-Type, In the Hunt, Moon Patrol, Lightning Swords, Battle Chopper, and 10-Yard Fight. Yeah, this one comes with the Evercade EXP. We also have another line of cartridges, which are home computer cartridges. This line, which is blue, has all different home computer games on them. This is the C64 Collection 1, which interestingly comes with the little cheat sheet that the C64 used to use. I've never seen one of these before in my time before this, because obviously I'm not old enough to remember the C64. But, yeah. This one has 14 games. It has Summer Games, Jumpman, Movie Monster Game, which has Stay Puft in it, just a year or so after the Ghostbusters movie came out. Subterranea, Alley Cat, Winter Games, Lee, which is a Bruce Lee game, Marauder, Battle Valley, Street Sports Baseball, Impossible Mission, not Mission Impossible, Possible Mission, Gateway to Aspire, Stormlord, and Idris Alpha. Yeah, pretty good games on this one. We have Team 17 Collection 1 on home computer, which comes with this little thing that says you might need to update your Evercade to play these. So, yeah. This one includes... I can get the freaking little leaflet back in. I'm sorry about this. I didn't... Get back in, you... It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. This has 10 games on it. This has Full Contact, Alien Breed, Special Edition, Body Blows, Project X, Quack, Arcade Pool, Alien Breed Tower Assault, Alien Breed 2, The Solid News, H-Hole Train Racing, Kingpin Arcade was Bowling. Quack is a cool game. It's a cutesy little thing with this little duck here. And yeah, Alien Breed is basically the run and gun kind of games. So yeah. And we have Delphine Software Cinematic Collection 1. This has some very, very good games on it. All cinematic games. We have Future Wars, Operation Stealth, which was originally a James, which when released over here in the UK originally was a James Bond game. Another World, which needs no introduction, and Flashback, which also needs no introduction. Both brilliant cinematic platform games. And I also have the Another World poster that came with it over there. So yeah, brilliant was there. And last, we have Home Computer Heroes Collection 1, which has 7 games on it. This has a comic book here, and it also has a code for a Steam version of Farming Simulator, which I haven't used. I might actually do a giveaway for that, because it's never going to be of any use to me. This has 7 games on it. This has Planet X2, Attack of the Pet Ski Robots, which is that there, Farming Simulator C64 Edition, which is the Farming Simulator we all know, Sword of Viana, which is that there, the platformer, Citadel Remonstered, which is a brilliant Doom-style FPS, Tanks Fury, and Bridge Strike. So yeah, that is all of my Evercade games. This collection video was a lot shorter, because there wasn't as much to talk about. But yeah, I might do a more in-depth video about what the Evercade is at a future point. But yeah, if you like what you saw, smack that like button and smash that subscribe button. Sora signing out. I love you guys. Peace.